What is up? Me and Riddell here, back with another One Piece chapter breakdown and review. It's chapter 100, 140, 1142.
Yeah,
Pretty interesting chapter. A lot of reveals. How you feeling, Riddell? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I finally had some free time. I was able to catch up on all my work, and I was able to kind of watch a lot of things that I wanted to watch on yesterday. In addition to reading the One Piece chapter on Friday, caught up to Invincible, crazy episode. Caught up to Daredevil, crazy 2 episodes, and then watched obviously read the One Piece chapter and watched some Apothecary Diaries. I think that's a pretty good show. It was a good palate cleanser considering the crap that Invincible and Daredevil were pulling, killing. I mean, Invincible killed my boy. Like straight up pissed,
I'm
pissed.
surprised.
I'm surprised too. Daredevil killed. He's not. He wasn't my boy, but like I liked him. He was cool.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah, Invincible kind of crushed me because I felt like and then quick little spoilers for everybody. I felt like Rex was going through an amazing character arc. He was really changing for the better. He went from being this dick to one of my favorite, almost my damn near my favorite character.
I was literally debating that while I was watching. Like, is Rex my favorite character now? Like, it might be my favorite character right now. Oh man! And I was thinking about that when he was talking with Ray just before he went out to fight. After the Mark showed up, I was like, Rex had this moment with Ray. I'm like, bro, Rex might be my favorite character right now. I'm gonna be honest. And then they did that. What they did to my boy, man. Oh man.
Nuts. Popping right into that One Piece. I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw what you said about killing Ham's fruit. I'm not moved, bro. We get to finally see some of these monsters. The God Knights are finally moving on with their plan to kidnap the kids. They're kind of employing a mixture of Gunko's fruit, and then we got Killingham's fruit and the ability to kind of manifest fears, your deepest fears, it seems like. When we kind of see these fears manifested from the children, so there was like Black Nika, there was Jormungandr the Great Snake, Draugr the Ghost, Fenrir, among others. They seemed very intimidating and very deadly at first. These teachers handled these monsters pretty convincingly. How you feeling, Riddell?
Just showing people the panel. Yeah, I'm actually very excited on what this fruit could do. I think they handled that one monster. So it was only one of them they handled. And shout out Saul having hockey. Shout out him. But the PE teacher got completely cooked by the same monster. So it was Saul who had to use hockey, and it was the principal who, I would assume one of the stronger giants, just
Sure.
based off assumption. And I think the biggest thing, the reason why this is more interesting is obviously there's so many monsters compared to the one,
Sure.
but also these are nightmares from children. Imagine the nightmares they can make from adults.
Adults, yes. And I'm right with you. I said that's the only way the fruit can convince me is if the fears manifested from the adults are actually a lot stronger, or maybe they're compounded together. Maybe, let's say, Luffy's fear, if he even has one, is manifested, something like that. But right now, this fruit is, I'm not convinced. Not convinced. I think the concept is really cool, and obviously it can go in a lot of different directions. First reveal, I'm okay. I want to see Summer's fruit now. We got Killingham's, Mythical Zoan, and I'm sure he has more than just the fear aspect. I'm sure he has way more than that. But first look, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if it's more than just like, okay, I can manifest your nightmares. I mean, if it's just going to be, I can manifest your dreams in general, I mean, that's still going to be broken. And it would make sense that Gunko was like, do you remember? Like, she was basically smirking at Killingham saying that, oh, we need all these ships. And was like, do you remember what your fruit can do? I'm guessing her thought process was like, you could probably create a ship from someone's dream. We don't need a bunch of ships. So I feel like I'm trying to remember the entire time we were talking. There's an ability in anime where someone's able to go to sleep and their dreams can get manifested. I just can't remember what that character is.
In One Piece?
No, in general. Because
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen an ability like this before. I just don't remember. It might be anime, it might be comics. I just know an ability like this exists where someone goes to sleep in their dream manifest characters. I know a horror movie that does it. Have you seen the it's like the Cranker Man horror movie? So the premise of that horror movie, a little tangent, is that there's this kid, and every time he goes to sleep, his dreams manifest into real life, and then since it's a horror movie, he has a nightmare, and that nightmare keeps on manifesting. And I'm gonna spoil you, by the way. So what happens at the end of the horror movie? Come to find out, the Canker Man is actually his manifestation of his mom who had cancer. So that's why he kept on having nightmares, because he morphed his mother and having cancer into this monstrous deity. It's a pretty good horror
That's
movie.
insane. That sounds like an interesting concept. I'm trying to think. The only in One Piece, the closest we have is Uda, her fruit, but that's more the singing induces sleep, and then she controls the reality within your sleep state. But I don't know if there's anything that you can outright manifest the things you see in your sleep into reality. I'm not sure. And then the chapter also didn't cover how exactly the kids are sleepwalking either. I understand the arrow is pushing them towards the beach. Like, I get that, right? We all saw that. But the arrow just induces sleepwalking? Like, Gunko's fruit doesn't get explained. There's a lot of applications to her fruit that they're kind of showing off in a roundabout way. Because now we know if she wants to do a straight line attack or fire like a shot at you, she can do that. If she wants to enlarge her appendages, whether it's legs, weapons, arms, whatever the case may be, she can do that. Now she can kind of like, without even touching you, sway your movement. She just has the kids walking forward in a straight line. The teachers lamented that, you can't touch them, you can't wake them up or anything like that. These devil fruits, these God Knights got some busted ass devil fruits. A lot of crazy applications we're seeing.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like, these God Knights are supposed to be strong as hell. And now, also, Gunko's thing is interesting, with Shamrock leaving. So it'll be 3 God Knights that they'll have to encounter. But the thing is, for her devil fruit, from my depiction, it's the basic idea is that they're like vectors. With vectors are obviously things that it's the direction things move, basically. So basically she can control like forces, and that's going to have interesting applications in every fight she goes against. And I'm curious to see what it will look like in a true combat scenario for against anybody, honestly. Even Luffy, I'd be very curious to see how she would handle that and how people would combat against that. Her devil fruit is very versatile and very broken. And if it's a case where he can force people to go to sleep, killing him's devil fruit, and manifest their dreams,
that's insane.
That's so tough. I'm like, he's gonna be one of those characters that you need someone like creative to beat. I don't think he's gonna be able. You can beat him normally, and I think that's a good thing too. That a lot of for the Straw Hats against these God Knights, there's gonna need to be unconventional ways to beat these people. It's not just Luffy power through. Because in a fight against Killingham, based off our interpretation of how his ability works, I don't know if Luffy can beat him. If he can force people to go to sleep and then take your dreams, I don't know if Luffy could just beat him like that. So, this is. I was interested on how they were going to do things. Now I'm curious to see how how the devil fruits actually work in the innate details. I'm personally moved. So far, so good. I'm personally moved so far, and I'm curious to see how the Straw Hats beat them.
Mind you, and a lot of people forget, these guys are trolling right now. This is not, remember, this is the game they were talking about. If they wanted to round the kids up, there's probably a way more direct way they could have gone about doing this. We're trolling right now. Let's have fun. Let's make it interesting. Let's make this take as long as it can take. Before we pivot over to Loki, because he had some action this chapter as well. Another thing I remember about I feel like we just got Killingham's fruit, but I want to talk about Gunko. I don't know. But I remember she hit those giants and they felt like it was almost like they got poisoned. They had their body had a really adverse reaction. I don't know. I think her fruit is like a misdirection. I think the arrows are like the very preliminary part of her fruit, and there's a way greater force at play when it comes to her. She hit that dude, and he literally was like, "Yo, I feel like I can't even. I feel like I'm on fire." That was his exact words. I think I feel like I'm on fire because I got hit by this ability. Gunko moves, killing him. You got to show me, brother. Cause Saul, he got beat by Aokiji 22 years ago. This is before Aokiji was an admiral. This is before Aokiji was that dude. I'm not moved by you doing anything, brother. I appreciate it. Exercisation, don't move for a name. But I've already seen what you can do. I know your limits. I need to see that fruit do something. Really, really do something. These creatures, I'm getting Kanjiro vibes. Oda's also playing with this idea of, I guess Killingham's gonna be, yeah, he's obviously strong. There's a gag attached to him. When he came back, he's like, yeah, you know, all the kids are coming, and he like falls asleep. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, he's trolling. Even when he was first revealed, he was like slipping all over the place. He's very much so the goofy member of the God Knights, and I really enjoy that. I like having a villainous faction include somebody who, yeah, when they're locked in, they're very, very dangerous, but they can be goofy and dumb and stuff as well. If you look in this bottom right panel right here, you can kind of see him, okay, we're all ready to go. And he just falls asleep. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's an interesting dynamic to add to the group. I'm just excited to see more. And then Summers, I can't wait to see what Summers can do. He just gives me that old man, grandpa, badass vibe. He's just chilling in the chair, very Eisen-like, laughing and stuff. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, it seems like the dynamic that's going to happen is that Killingham will cause a disruption with his ability to affect the entire island, basically. And it also seems like there's like a time limit. He says there's a time limit, so he probably can't be use this ability forever, or maybe it depends on what he's doing. So that'd be curious to find out. And then Gunko and Summer is probably going to have to be the ones on the boots on the ground. So I could definitely see a situation where it's possible Summers will be fighting the Straw Hats by himself, and he just will be that type, be one of them ones. I'm here for it.
Yeah, that'll move the fuck out of me. And he definitely gives that aura about him. He really, really does. Pretty cool. Let's get over to that man. Loki, once again, the hero of our story. I'm standing on it. He's gonna be the hero of our story this arc. Loki is crashing the fuck out though right now. Before he becomes the hero, he gotta crash out. He's having a conversation with our boys. He's like, listen, I got this one shackle, but don't think this one shackle on me makes me helpless. Let me go, or I'm hitting that tree. We know the tree's greatest weakness. Let me go. Hey, people aren't moving as fast as they're supposed to be moving. He hits that motherfucking tree. Lightning strike instantly hits the tree, sets it on fire in the south. Looking like the first part of that tablet, that prophecy, has now just been fulfilled. How are we feeling?
It's kind of wild that he's able to use whatever ability he can use with Sea Prison Stone on his leg still. It makes me wonder, like, so we always see them put multiple Sea Prism Stones. Well, now I'm thinking, like, usually I would assume the moment you touch the ocean, you're cooked. Sure. But no, there's definitely a threshold where it's like, if you're strong enough, you need a lot of the concentrated sea power, basically, to hold you down. And this just shows how strong Loki is, considering he's able to put a attack like this with Sea Prism Stone still touching him, and he's moving relatively fine. Usually we see Luffy kind of all droopy, barely able to stand up. He's still working through.
Riddell, relatively fine. Bro just home run swung the tree like it. Obviously, it's affecting him because I don't think that attack came from his devil fruit power. I think that's all like hammer based. But bro, the fact, like you said, we've never seen anybody move like that while under the effect of Karoseki. Nobody's been able to move like that. No one. He full on just boom, instantly. Hockey, everything.
Yeah, I agree though. When he is crashing out, like, why did you do this? I'm like, is there a benefit to ruining the tree considering it's not like you're oblivious. Elbaf is under the attack right now. So I don't know. Maybe Loki. I don't know how to think about Loki right now. Obviously,
I do.
He's not like a outright, Doflamingo level villain, but is he like a smart guy? Like, does he plan things ahead or does he just react? Is he more reactionary or does he prep his actions beforehand? Because this seems very reactionary. He's just crashing. Oh, finally free. Hold up. All right, bet. And then he just went crazy. I'm like, bro.
I think it's a little bit of both. So I trust him. I just think he's definitely bad in a mischievous, that type of way. But I think more than anything, the vibe that I'm getting from Loki is he's very, very misunderstood. And sometimes when you don't have that person that you're able to talk to and relate with, you do stuff very, very weirdly. So instead of him just communicating, yo, Elbaf is under attack. There's some people here that did this to me, as you guys already saw. I'm clearly wounded. They're trying to do something to the rest of the village. Nah. His personality type won't let him be that open and that vulnerable to the situation. He's like, yo, motherfucker, let me go so I can stop him. Oh, word, y'all won't let me go? Let me show y'all. Boom. Let me destroy this shit. Now let me go. You don't have a choice now. I'll destroy this whole shit if you don't let me go. He doesn't have people he can trust. His brother never liked him, right? Because of his mischievous acts. The people around him don't like him, right? But he clearly knows there's a larger plot at play. And because he feels like he's already at a loss because people think he's this bad guy, there's no point in me even trying to communicate. Let me be evil so they can be afraid of me. Get me the fuck up out of here, and then I'll stop this and deal with the consequences later. Is it the most effective means? But I get him. I'm all in on the Loki good stock, and I think that's kind of sky's blue. I guess people are saying, but bro, you never know. It could twist on his head, and he could be a bad guy. I think he's a good guy, though. I genuinely think he's good.
I'll say I'm more like 50-50 with Loki. I think he's more in the like. I would say in terms of the meter of like, not good side, but like anti-evil side. It's hard to phrase because One Piece does not typically have a just like more objective moral evil and good all the time. But like, if Kid is the worst of the worst, and then Luffy is the best of the best, I would say Loki's above Kid. I think he's a bit of a better guy than Kid. I would say he's around like the beige level in terms of like a good guy. I would say he's around there. That's kind of like where I am with Loki. I'm very curious to see what happens, but I would be curious to see if he is like more of a bad guy, kind of like Kid.
Yeah.
And what will Luffy's response will be? Because at the end of the day, Luffy let him go.
Sure. The one thing that stands out to me, and in my original breakdown, I said the threats are veiled, right? He starts off his initial statement, if you want to save Elbaf, you'll undo the final cuff. Like, he doesn't say, I'm going to kill you all first. I'm going to destroy you. I'm Loki, I'm back. The first thing he says, if you want to save Elbaf, free me. Simple. To which Hydra Dean, his scared ass, Loki, oh my God, Loki. Bro, just because you're not like that don't mean that we all don't gotta be like that, brother.
Hey, to be fair, Hydra Dean don't know what's going on. To be honest, he's still out of the loop, man.
Hey, look at Hydra Dean and look at Loki. Even if Hydra Dean was in the loop, do it matter, brother? Look at him.
Nah, this size difference is wild.
It's insane.
Yo, this size difference is disgusting, Warren. Oh my good, like I low-key feel bad for Hydra Dean. Like this size difference is too much. You're my brother? How? Yo, I know they have
for mom gene is crazy.
His mom, because they said Loki's the one with the different race giant mother, right? Not
like she would be like a commoner, basically. Sure, yeah.
I wonder. I mean, she has to be that ancient giant race with that's kind of like the demons ones with the horns. Has to be. Yeah. Oh, kind of a little bit tangent. You think Kaido's connected to the demon giant race?
He's an outlier. I would lean more towards yes than no. Because I don't think there's any evidence of there actually being a full-on demon race, right? He's pretty big. I'm leaning more towards giant like human.
When I say demon giant race, I'm talking about like Orz's race. Because they're giants.
Yeah, I got you. I'm with you. A lot of the community says that he's like a full-on demon, though, like not giant adjacent, just like demon, like just Oni. That's what I'm saying. I lean more towards your idea of like he's definitely related to giants. I would think so. They've now opened the pot to where you can be a giant from anywhere. It's not just Elbath. Maybe his home island might have had some big people, giant human hybrid, something like that.
Yeah, since they opened up the floodgates of like there being multiple types of giants, and then obviously being the ancient giant ancestors that were huge and had like demon horns. This could answer potentially a lot of questions on these big ass characters that are huge for no reason, like a Kaido, like a Big Mom, maybe a Whitebeard.
Maybe, but I think it was implied that Whitebeard is Kuma's race, which I think they are an offshoot of giants. Yeah, Buccaneers. It's implied that they're both Buccaneers.
Oh, I had no idea Whitebeard was implied to be a Buccaneer. So,
but for context, everybody, Kaido, we don't have feet, unfortunately. Kaido is 710 centimeters. Riddell, how tall do you think Loki is in centimeters?
2,000.
Bigger.
5,000.
Bigger.
10,000.
That's too high. He's 6,700 centimeters tall. He is 7. Carry the thing. Carry that. He's 9 times taller than Kaido. That's insane.
How tall was Oars? Because now I'm thinking, like, is he the tallest person we've seen?
But then they give me Oars' height and feet.
American metric system.
Hold up. How many centimeters is 200 feet? Loki's taller than them. Oars is 6,000. Oars is 6,000 feet. Loki's about 700 centimeters taller.
He's the tallest person we've seen in One Piece.
Tallest person we've seen in the story thus far. And I'm not gonna lie, he redeemed the giants. Because yeah, they always seem big, but they felt giant relative to Luffy and everybody else, but they never felt giant. This dude's a fucking giant. Every shred of the word, he's a giant.
No, for real. Tallest other than obviously what's the elephant's name?
Oh, Zunisha. Zunisha's the tallest.
Yeah, sure. Other than Zunisha. Damn.
Maybe.
Now I'm curious to see how big his dad was.
I think he.
That,
I think he dwarfs his dad.
we are. I'm like, nah. Loki's a beast. Loki's a beast for real. Unless you know what could be a possibility though. You know the theory that Lonnie said about Usopp becoming a giant.
Sure.
Maybe Loki made himself bigger.
I didn't even think of that. That's interesting.
Which I wouldn't be mad at. Obviously, you do whatever it takes to get the advantage.
That's a big
So,
advantage.
hey man, it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, as of right now, yeah, the Straw Hats might be cooked. Yeah. This is a more than I expected. Like, even though you're not moved from the nightmare things, I didn't expect something even like this in terms of scale of problem, because this is now more than a 1v, like a Straw Hats versus the two God Knights.
Sure.
No, they are able to create chaos throughout the entire island. So now this is, instead of a fight, this is a rescue mission. The Straw Hats have to play defense.
Yeah. From both sides too. Because until they subdue Loki or whatever the case is with that, you have to deal with the chaos Loki's creating and the chaos that the God Knights are making at the same time. So if only Loki would just go to therapy, man. Learn how to talk.
Facts. I mean, hey man, we're all on the same team right now. You know?
Are we?
Well, to be fair, I don't know. I don't know if we're all on the same team. Man, this is tough though. The Giants, they were just vibing, and now they got people trying to take their kids.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Riddell. If you were a random villager, or like just a random person in the One Piece world, would you want Luffy and them boys to come? Because I'll say this. At the very, very end, yeah, you'll be free, you'll be safe. From the time they show up until the very, very end, they be making the lives of regular people hard as fuck.
If I'm a regular person, yes. See, I'm trying to like exit out of the mindset as like maybe there's a hidden. What? How many people know there's a hidden plot going on? How many people know that the celestial dragons are evil? If I'm a regular citizen, then it's hard because your life is completely turned upside down, and you might piss off the world government to the point they blow up your island. So I don't want the Straw Hats coming to my island. I'm like, hey, save the world, but not here. Go save the world somewhere else.
Picture you're on Dressrosa, and you're like, ooh, we're going shopping. We're going to a little eatery, going to brunch. We're having a good time. I'm vibing. This fucking guy pulls up and now there's a fucking bird cage destroying every home within a 100-mile radius, closing in on everybody. Oh, they killed my dog while we were trying to escape. My girl got crushed. It's just, these guys wreak as much havoc as they save. Like, I'm not going to lie. And I don't want to say that the Straw Hats need to pay for it, because obviously they're doing a good deed. But, bro, like, villages are getting burnt down in Elbaf now. Like, I think the God Knight stuff would have happened regardless without their intervention. That would have happened. Bro, Loki's burning shit down. He's wreaking a lot of havoc right now because you guys are present.
I am so glad you said that, because that tangents so perfectly into the fact that Gunko's greatest spear is Nika. And I think we talked about it. And I think the lore even specifies that it's not, and also Vegapunk kind of made it very ambiguous, saying, I'm not saying who's evil and good in this description. I'm just telling you history. The fact that Oda is keeping so much of the history ambiguous on who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, I think there is something to it. I'm not saying that Joy Boy and Nika was like evil and just ruined people's life or anything. I don't think that's the case. But I don't think it's as clear as them doing like everything they were doing was good. And kind of like what you said, they're probably causing a lot of chaos too in this fight. There's a reason. I mean, Gunko being afraid of Nika, there's probably some propaganda there, of course. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to Nika and Joy Boy, and then that's where the moral gray area. That's where the big choice on what Luffy has to do and what is the right thing to do is probably going to come into the equation. So,
For sure.
that's I think is a very important point.
I'm gonna spin something by you. I want you to let me know what you think. So I wasn't gonna go on a limb and push this propaganda here. I think Gunko is a part of Imu's family. We know that the Imu clan is originally the Nerona clan. That's the family name, one of the original 20. Gunko's devil fruit is exactly like Imu's attacks that he or she used on Sabo and King Cobra. It's the same attack, same thing. Arrow,
Oh,
pierce straight through, same exact thing, right? What made me want to decide to go all in on it was her biggest fear being Nika, right? As a God Knight, I don't think Shamrock gives a fuck about Nika. I don't think Summers gives a fuck about Nika. Killingham gives a fuck about the extent that he needs to make his creation. But outside of that, I don't think he cares either.
mm-hmm.
I think having a direct connection to that family, they have a very deep rooted hate against Joy Boy, or at least fear of Joy Boy, probably more than anybody. That being the thing that she fears most. She doesn't look like she's a different race. She looks very human.
You're right.
She might be a part of that family.
You know what? Do you? Oh, before I go into my soliloquy, do you remember what chapter that was on?
The emo stuff.
Yeah,
If you give me about 15 seconds, I'll find it.
big bet, and I'll look up on here on my tablet. Um, that's super interesting because they're intentionally keeping a lot of secrecy behind Gunko, which is very important for the story. Um,
1085.
1085 bet. Because all the God Knights, we basically got their names, like their full names, who and what clan they're associated with,
Mm-hmm.
other than Gunko. And she's hiding her mouth. Like there's a lot of secrecy behind this character.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably a big reveal on who she really is, and being related to Emo is as big of a reveal as you can get at that point.
Page 10.
All right, let me see.
Also, and I hate Oda because it see the arrow for everybody watching.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's the exact same thing. So another thing I thought of, because I'm also in the camp that if not all, a lot of these powers that the God Knights have start with Emu and end with Emu. It would have been a very interesting idea, and also that the page right before Riddell,
Okay.
the silhouettes that we see of those creatures. What if those are just Killingham's fruit too, and not just ordinary silhouettes? Obviously, of course, Oda doesn't want to reveal. He doesn't want to show it to us, but we can actually have an inverse reason as to why they look like that compared to what we really saw. That could have been a manifestation of fear versus them just not knowing what it is.
I think there's something to it because okay, so when the teacher was talking about their their drawings, um, they were talking about how she recognizes these monsters, um, and they're talking about things that they're scared of, like Fenrir, Loki, Dragon, Hormendinger, and they're talking about all these things. What if they got these ideas from the book, the history of Joy Boy and Nika,
Sure.
and those monsters would then kind of resonate with the mythical zone fruit monsters that we just see with the elders. So there could be a very interesting connection there between that those monsters, those nightmares, those and the history of Joy Boy and current mythical zone fruits as well, which would be very interesting. And I'm trying to think like Gunko, if we really expand the ability, let's just say they're connected with Emu, if you really want to go through this idea that you can kind of these arrows can change anything, not just direction and force, but they can change any concept, period. Then I wonder if it's possible you can change the concept of aging. That will allow these characters to stay immortal, and whenever you feel like it, you can take all that aging away.
I'm with you.
Hey man, hey, there might be something there with Gunko being relative to Emu, and I honestly I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm there with you.
Yeah, it just I don't know, it just fits to me. And we don't see obviously end game of the story. We're gonna have to see people know about Nika, but as far everybody's kind of revered Nika as this god coming to save them. This is the first person where they're like, look, this is my greatest fear. Nothing scares me more. And she's gonna see it. I wonder how she reacts when she sees Luffy. She's gonna see it.
Do we think she can beat Luffy 1v1?
Absolutely.
I'm starting to eliminate.
I sound too confident. I don't want people to hate on me. I'm gonna say 60-40. I think Luffy can do it. I think he has the arsenal and the capability, but I think there's just going to be another factor that's going to prevent him from doing so. What if they have the immortality factor like the Elders, something like that, where you can't hurt them through conventional means? I think there's going to be some sort of other separator, like you said, other than just hand to hand. I think we're beyond just beating the shit out of people at this point. To me, you're going to need some more.
Yeah, I do think we're transitioning to another level of like hacks, broken ability type fighting. I think we are going to. It seems like we're going to start reaching the point where it's going to be beyond just like. Obviously, we're going to have some of those physical fights still. Akainu exists for sure. But with the God Knights in particular, they're going to be an interesting test against versus the Straw Hats. Because there's not a lot for the Straw Hat crew, not other than like the weak fighters. Not a lot of them are like think through the fight type fighters in terms of going and overcoming some broken hats and using my brains to outmaneuver and outsmart the other character. If they have an ability, they might unlock ability like Luffy against Katakuri. He unlocked Future Sight for him to get the equivalent in that fight. But if there's something that you can't just unlock and you have to think it through, this could be like the real test of like characters fight against that have those type of abilities. So,
and I'm with you.
I'm excited for it. What'd you say?
I said I'm with you for sure because we saw it last arc. When Luffy saw that the Elders couldn't be hurt, he just kept doing the same shit to them. He didn't even like. The win condition was probably very hard to find. He obviously wouldn't have found it, to be honest. But Luffy didn't even try. Oh, let me hit him again. Let me throw them away. Let me hit him again. Hit him again. Hit him again. Luffy, it's not doing anything, brother. Like, you're not going to try to find a new way? You're going to just keep swinging? That's not going to work here.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to hate or anything, but like when Luffy had to overcome insurmountable odds those times, he wasn't really using his brain. Like he either kept on losing and then found a ability that he had to unlock, like against Kaido, he just kept on losing, and then he found the perfect training method. And then in his final fight against Kaido, he lost again, and then Gear 5 awakened. Yeah. So these might not be characters that Luffy could just punch through.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think Sanji's a pretty good think through fighter though.
For sure.
Zoro
is too. I think Zoro is. I think he is.
I think he could be because against Monet in particular, right? That was a perfect like he couldn't cut Monet, but he basically scared the shit out of her to the point where she could not fight anymore.
King.
Yeah, he found out he used that like air slash ability because he could not hit him while he's in the sky.
He had
Yeah.
to, and then he also had to work out the mechanics of how King's biology worked. Right, he had to put together when he's on fire, I can't do shit. It's when he's not on fire that I gotta hit him, or is it vice versa? Either way, he had to figure that out on the fly with all of his bones broken. As a Zoro hater, I give him a lot of credit for that. When he fought Dad's Bones back in Alabasta, it wasn't as simple as just slicing. He had to figure out a way how to cut steel. And it took like a flashback and some concentrated thinking for him to figure that out. He didn't get a power buff there either. Man, it's all falling back on Luffy. He got to lock in. Bro, we get it. You're the strongest, but you got to use up here eventually. You just have to. You can't rely on the buff because me personally, I don't think Luffy's getting a buff anytime soon. It's not his time. He got his buffs already.
No, for sure. At this point, it wouldn't make sense for him to get a buff. Yeah, I'm so curious to see what happens here. There was something else that was on my mind, but I kind of forgot. Oh, I guess what did we? So we bet on it, or we made like a prediction on whether the Straw Hats are going to win or lose. What did we say?
I think you said. Remember? Did you write it down?
No, I didn't.
Okay, we got to rewatch the episode. I'm pretty sure you said they would win. I said they would lose, or vice versa, something like that.
I know we both said something different. I just don't remember which side or we fell on there. And
I think they lose.
I'm starting to lean they lose too at this point because I didn't expect something this big from killing him to just start the because it's like I said, we already talked about it. It's not about beating the Straw Hats. It's about taking the kids.
Do they know the Straw Hats are there?
Oh yeah, they don't even know they're there. Exactly. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. The Straw Hats really have to lock in. They have to outsmart the God Knights here.
Good luck.
For sure. And I guess the only other thing, Osasa is still funny to me to how Zoro forgot that on Egghead.
Hey, Zoro's smart in the moment. Outside the moment, he's just as much of a bot as everybody else.
Yeah, fair.
Because they're fighting all of that Seraphim, he had no idea. Go ahead. One other thing I don't want you to forget. Go ahead.
One other thing. Ulti's a good guy now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to beat that. We basically predicted this, that like there are certain characters you can kind of tell that eventually, at this point, I don't know. Goku's going to be a weird one. I think she's going to be a weird one moving forward for the story. I don't know how everything's going to align with her, but Ulti is becoming a good guy now. It's like 100%. She's on the good squad now. So, shout out Ulti.
Ulti and her brother coming to the good guys. That's strong. She hung with Luffy for a little bit. He was in base form, but she hung with him.
And considering we got the whole thing about her father, Hanafuda, and that he kind of had a sad backstory. He tried to go back to his kids and then got himself killed.
Dudes were literally hating on him and they killed him. That's insane.
I think Oda is alluding to, their kids are coming back and they'll be good guys. So it's like, okay, all right. Not mad at it. Okay, but the question is, also, is this sword familiar? This sword looks familiar, actually, before I go into the sword on the cover page with the design.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's Shisui or a different sword, but yeah, they stole it. That this whole cover story arc was them trying to get it back, and they found out that who's who had it. He's always stealing something. He stole the Nika fruit. Just a thief. Just stealing.
Stealing. But considering your theory, and considering her biggest fear is Nika, are we going to have a storyline where she figures out Nika is not as bad as she thought, and she joins the good guys?
A possibility. If she's a part of Emu's clan, I think that shit is like Death Row Records. Only way you're out of here is if you die. I don't think you're allowed to walk out that family. That particular family, it ain't no leaving.
Hey, One Piece cooking. One Piece cooking. For
Good
sure,
ass
blood in
chapter.
blood out.
Good
Huh?
ass chapter. I said good ass chapter.
You said it was mid when it came out. I know you had that whole big like beef in the Discord.
Listen, man. My exact words. I said, I feel like the spoilers, the way they're set up, the way your expectations are created, I just feel like they're a little bit better than the chapter. I thought the chapter was cool this week, though. They didn't see any of the chapter being cool this week. All they saw was how I feel about some shit. And hey, if you get impressed about how I feel, I didn't say the story was whack. I didn't say the chapter was whack. I said it was cool. I mean, hey, what can we do?
Valid. I mean, I don't read spoiler summaries, but if they say in the spoiler summaries, oh yeah, there's a bunch of monsters that came out, and these are the monsters, then I'll be feeling a different type of way as well. To be fair.
Does my mic
Yeah.
sound better?
It just sounded like you just switched mics.
Yeah, Santo just messaged in the group chat. I might have the wrong mics selected.
Okay, you sound like 50 times better.
Okay, yeah, I just had the wrong mic. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, cool.
All right, well, and end the stream. Right mic. It is what it is. But solid chapter. Solid chapter. Do we break? We have a break.
My biggest fear. Yeah, break. Oh no, you spoiled us. You gave us a month straight, no breaks. You can't make it a month and 1 week, brother. You just can't. You know what I mean? Just change your mind. Nah, we got a break. He deserved it. He gave us a month straight. And then One Piece anime returns exactly 1 month from now. Be locked in. Luffy versus Kizaru. That's the next big fight on the docket. Be ready. That's gonna feed families. The admirals will finally, all of the admiral fanboys rejoice. We'll get to push agendas. We'll get to stand on top of the One Piece world. Because before Luffy goes Gear 5, that boy gets embarrassed. That boy was moving so fast. Snake Man Luffy didn't even know where he was at. He was looking at the flow. Kizaru was in the air. Oh my God, it made my heart sing how fast that boy was moving. I love the admirals, brother. I love them.
I wonder if we're going to get that moment. I feel like the moment where Luffy recovers, there needs to be people are going to be paused. I wonder if they're going to play a sneaky trick where there's a 1 millisecond of a light flash and you have to pause. Like, oh, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna see it. Hey man, lock in One Piece animators. This one should be good, and I bet they add a lot of extra content to it as well.
For sure.
But One Piece doing his thing. Shout out. Shout out Invincible. Shout out Daredevil. Shout out. Have you read are you caught up with Blue Lock? I just read the recent Blue Lock chapter.
Is there a chapter after they won?
It's the one. Yeah, there's a chapter where Isagi clowns Kaiser.
I haven't read that.
All right, there's a cliffhanger. This is not a crazy spoiler, but this is like it ends alluding to we're going to see what's going on with Nagi.
On that note, boys and girls,
it's time. Hey,
Rideau got propaganda to push.
Oh, for sure, we got propaganda to push. I'm ready because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Asagi hater moving forward. So we here.
If Nagi's back, you're an Asagi hater.
I'll be honest, like I've been thinking about it. There's no point for me to kind of like beat around the bush. I'm not a fan of Asagi. I don't think he's a bad character. I just don't like his character. Personally.
Before we go, you want to just real quick. I just want to hear you out. What's going on?
I just can't buy into how good he becomes. I don't buy it. That's my biggest thing. He made it seem like he was an average soccer player. Average for the purposes of Blue Lock. Soccer player. He didn't have any kind of training regimen in the past. He didn't have any type of like
Natural physical tools.
natural physical tools. There's nothing in his past that indicated that he had this unique type of intelligence. He just came here, really like soccer, and he's just able to constantly just outduel some of these people who've been doing it longer and better than him. I just don't buy it. I can't buy it. It doesn't click for me. It just doesn't.
Yo, Ty, come outside.
Oh man, I know he wants to defend his boy. Does he have aura? Does he talk trash? Is he like an interesting person? Yeah. But in terms of like the growth of a main character to reach these heights, like Borrow, I buy more.
Yes. Borrow, Rin, even to an extension, and people aren't going to like this one, Nagi to me too. He was seen as prodigious at everything he did, no matter what he touched. So it makes sense that he touches soccer and he progresses as fast as he does. It's in his prodigious past. It's in his nature to be that good. Nagi never strikes you as this superior. When they're all lined up, I never felt it from him. Yeah, he had the hunger, but he never had like the innate ability or anything. He never had the intangibles, as people would say in real sports. He didn't have the intangibles to be as good as he became to me. He just didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's why moving forward, I'm just gonna be hating on Asagi. I just gotta keep it a beat. I'm just a Asagi hater. I'll be rooting for his downfall moving forward. He talked crazy to that boy Kaiser, and that Kaiser glazed crazy in that recent chapter. You'll see when you read it. But we'll lock in there too. And also peep that new Marshall King chapter. I think was
I gotta check that out. We've been locked in. I actually really like it. I'm gonna read that new chapter too. I just woke up. I'm gonna read. I'm up. I'm here.
Shout out, man. Because I caught up with everything. I'm now finally starting my Tower of God reread. my hope is honestly, Maz, you could join up too. Lonnie obviously surpassed me for Tower of God. I had another friend. I told him read Tower of God. He's actually caught up with One Piece too. So I convinced him to dive into manga. So
oh wow,
if I can get him to read Tower of God, and he also is a big he's a big Naruto fan. He likes Boruto as well.
Yeah.
If I can convince him to join in the conversation when doing this Tower of God read through, and if you start reading Tower of God as well, we can do that little Tower of God breakdowns on the original content. I don't know. We'll see if we put that on the YouTube channel, the main stuff, but
I'm down. I think I'm on chapter maybe like 130, 140 at Tower of God.
That's
I've read a chunk of it.
I'm rereading, so I'm obviously starting from the jump. And I think the first breakdown we're going to do is probably the first two arcs. So the test arc, and then I would say test arc, and then I'll figure it out after that. With that said, that's all I got.
Last thing before we wrap, Hattori no Shita, the Outcast, they have a brand new game, an arena fighter coming out soon. It's right now in alpha. As we all know, alpha, beta, things of the like, all free. If you guys like arena fighters that actually have mechanics, so not Ninja Storm, those Naruto games have no mechanics. If you want one that actually has mechanics, this game's actually very, very good. And it follows a lot of the anime, Hattori no Shita, the Outcast. So yeah, if you're interested in that, play it. Rock, paper, scissors style combat, beautiful visuals. They're definitely cooking up with that. With that being said, we appreciate everybody for popping out. Be sure to like the stream. Follow all of our socials where you can join the conversation. We're always out on Discord. You can find me arguing all the time, going back and forth. A lot of team hero, team villain shenanigans going on there. Catch us for our video game streams. We've been slacking a little bit. Those will come back. I'll be streaming some stuff. I'm sure the other guys will be streaming some stuff too. Appreciate you guys again. And peace.